Alrighty then, I am back with Limbus Company, which I honestly thought I would never say on this channel ever again, but here I am. I've been in the mood to play some Limbus Company for a while, and I have. I've actually been going through Kanto 8, and no, I'm not streaming Kanto 8. That shit would be a little bit too much. After Kanto 7, that's just not happening, at least not for a while. At least not until I can properly set up some teams and I can actually play the game properly where I can build around the boss instead of just having to hope that my team of charge would be able to stand it. But yeah, I've been feeling like playing some Limbus Company. I've been going through Kanto 8. It's so far been pretty good Kanto. Not really sure if I would like it more than Kanto 7 so far, story wise at least, but I really do like it. I like Hong Lu, I like his sister, she's really adorable. I like, I like honestly everything about it. It was pretty freaking cool to see Bina as well. Wait, spoilers? Nah, Kanto 8 has been finished for a while now. I'm not spoiling anything for anybody. Also been working on the Seasons Pass. As you can see, I haven't finished it yet, but that's mainly because I just genuinely cannot be bothered to rush this. I am almost done with the time farming though. Luckily, I had most of the more expensive rewards of this event, so I only really have to get these ones. Um, I don't really know if I care much for these though. I already have the ones that move and do other stuff, so I don't really know why I would want these ones specifically. But hey, maybe if I get enough, still have about a month, maybe 25-ish days left to get all of this, so I'm not in a rush. Yeah, this isn't actually crate farming, even though it is a byproduct of it. As you can see, I've already done the weekly bonuses. I actually just have to hold up. I quickly have to check if egos are all in order. Yes, I should have all the egos. These are not egos I would use for a Tremor team, by the way. I just don't have any other egos because I am terribly unlucky when it comes to getting egos from the gacha. I have only had one ego ever drop from a gacha or from the gacha, and that's Pursuance. I have literally never had any other ego drop, which is a little sad, but it be what it be. Yawn. I could go with my charge team. This is actually not my tremor team because I have charge here, or is this my tremor team? I don't actually think this is my tremor team. Is it? Yeah, this is my tremor team. Okay, here I don't have any of the egos. That's actually kind of bad. I will have to get those egos equipped. See, this is why I check these things beforehand. All my Dawn egos are charged, so I've really built around charge for the most part, even though I've heard that it's actually the worst team to build around at this point in the game. I didn't fucking know though. I'm not really keeping, what would you call it? Keeping informed on the meta of this game. See, I suppose this is fine. Don't know if this one is better than the teddy bear one. What's your passive like? Oh fuck! I haven't even leveled you up yet. Never fucking mind. Yeah, I'm actually planning to level up all my egos to at least level 3 so that they will have their passives and I can properly team build. Right now I'm also in the middle of uptying all my egos to at least level 3 for the same reason. But it's taking a bit. I'm almost done though with the IDs. I only have one or two more identities to update. Oh, why am I yawning? I only have two more IDs to update to Opti 3. I ain't going to do that with to Opti 4 because having to Opti all my IDs to Opti 4 would cost way too many resources. A ridiculous amount. The only IDs I am opting to Opti 4 are going to be IDs I'm actually planning to use because otherwise that would just be absolutely ridiculous. Oh yeah, but sure, why do I keep... Fuck, I don't know why I suddenly have to yawn so much. Yeah, I did all of this, I did this, there we go. It's always when I'm streaming, I suddenly have a bunch of things going on. Like my body suddenly feels super tired or bloaty. Might just be something to do with me, honestly. Guess we'll go for this he. I'll be honest, I barely know what these Sinclair's egos do. I haven't really been paying much attention to Sinclair. He hasn't been much of a staple on any of my teams because I don't even think Sinclair has a decent charge ego at the moment. Does he? Oh, I would actually like to mention that not Sinclair, Limbus Company has improved on its menu and everything. I can actually properly use this now and actually kind of figure out what to do in game instead of having to use a wiki. But yeah, no, I don't think he has a charge idea. That's actually kind of crazy. Huh. Yeah, okay, no, that makes sense though. I didn't really have any reason to use Sinclair all that much. I don't know which one of these Sinclairs would have the best passive for charge IDs, but overall I would probably use Los Mariachi Sinclair because he has saved my ass a couple of times. But also I have Rhodia, who has I have the Ego Rhodia, you know, the one with the crying queen or the crying princess or the crying knight. I honestly don't remember what that abnormality is called, but it's the newest Rhodia ID, and she inflicts a crap ton of things, so his passive would have been pretty useful in a charge team. Even though Rhodia isn't really a charge ID, but technically she does have a special charge. A unique charge, I think they call it in the game. Also, she's just straight up a really good idea. I also have the magical girl Dawn. That's actually the reason why I started pulling on that banner, because I just thought that magical girl Dawn was cute and that's the main reason why I pull on these. No, wait, did I? Fuck, I keep forgetting that I'm actually here to get all the egos on my team. Really need to get better at that. Check, check, check. See how little egos I actually have. Most of the egos I have are just genuinely from the past. That or I bought them from Extraction. Yeah, this should be fine. It's just a mirror dungeon anyway, so it's not the end of the world if I fuck up. Guess we'll just take this one and this should be fine. I don't know what the best I guess loadout is for mirror dungeons. I genuinely just do not care enough to figure that out. And I haven't done any of the hard mirror dungeons either, mainly because it just doesn't feel necessary. Unless specifically you get better reward from completing hard mirror dungeon like you did before. But from what I've seen so far, that's actually not the case. Oh, yeah. Which one shall I do? Which one shall I do? Well, I would like to get as many Tremor gifts as I can. And I remember the bottle being pretty decent, so let's go with the bottle. Yeah, sure. Hmm. Alright, let's just do this first battle and then we can do the ego. I guess. What do you call the question mark notes? Events? I'm just gonna call them events for now because I feel like that's the best way to call them. Maybe encounters could also work, but that seems more like the swords, if I'm gonna be honest. Right. What team do we want to make? No, funny thing is, a lot of my egos I have here are also sync. Yeah, Motorworks, Ishmael, and Spice Bougie saying technically have tremor, but they're basically sync. And Rhodia is a straight up sync ID. The rest is tremor, but alright, let's start with these two because they are my two best tremor IDs, I'd say. Then we'll go with Molar, Office, Fixer, Otis. It's kind of funny that Rhodia doesn't have an ID that is based off of Olga because she does look the most like Olga if you're gonna pick any of the sinners. Okay, we got these three, and then we'll go with Diffie. I don't remember how that's pronounced. Ryushi. I could have also gone with Swy Association, Sinclair, but whatever. And then we'll do the three sync IDs because they are just genuinely pretty darn good IDs. Could have also gone for R-Corp Heathcliff because he's really good in mirror dungeons, but it's fine. It's fine. We'll then sort them like this, and we should be golden. It's a bit sad. I don't really have any other decent Gregor IDs, even though G Corp, B Corp, G Corp, G Corp, G Corp isn't that strong either. Aside from G Corp, I think that the Gregor ID that I have used the most is, funnily enough, the cooking Gregor, the cook Gregor. It was actually just, from what I remember, I actually used him in an encounter that I was struggling with. It was from one of my friend list guys who had the cooking Gregor on, and it actually saved my ass. And I promised during that fight that if I won that fight with cooking Gregor, then I would buy him and shard him and everything, and I did it. So it's honestly pretty great. And honestly, aside from his lackluster stats, he can be pretty decent if you just don't make him clash with anything. Yeah, he doesn't do any damage, but the consistent bind and paralyze that he inflicts is pretty nice. But maybe I'm just not using the game properly, and that's why he sucks. And here we go with the win rate. That's basically what I'm gonna do unless there's a highly specific fight where I can't. I do think that's one of the biggest problems with mirror dungeons in Limbus Company. I probably won't have at least audio on now that I realize it. Wait, I have it on? What's going on? Oh, I remember. I remember. I have the volume mixing with my PC. Okay, that's actually pretty good background music. Yeah, I forgot that I had all the sound mixing all wacky. I have it pretty softly because I'm listening to something else in the background, which I always do when I'm mirror dungeon farming because it's really freaking boring. Usually I just do mirror dungeon farming now with something else in the background because otherwise I just can't. Yeah, I was talking about why I think Mirror Dungeons didn't work, or at least its biggest weakness. And I would say that for Mirror Dungeons, the biggest weakness is that you basically just win rate for the most part, unless it's maybe hard mode is different. Probably, I remember hard mode being pretty challenging. Not game-breaking challenging, as I could still fairly easily defeat it, but you actually had to pay attention challenging at the last 2 floors or so. But I think it's a mixture of mirror dungeons being too long, but also that you can basically just win rate your way through. Because it's not like I'm actually being engaged by the mirror dungeon, and I don't think I actually want this bleed ID, so we're just gonna skip. I have bad memories from Canto 7. And it's not like I'm actually using bleed. I do actually have Rabbit, Heathcliff, and Faust, but if they actually get on the field, then something went immensely wrong. Itchy, itchy, itchy. My ear's itchy. Yeah, either I feel like they should either make the mirror dungeons slightly shorter, not slightly. Just they should make them shorter, or they should make them more engaging, but even then I do still think that they should make them shorter. When hitting an enemy with a pierce skill or a gluttony affinity skill, inflict 2 defense down. That's actually pretty good, because Rhodia has only pierce skills, I'm fairly sure. I don't think any of my other identities have pierce. Well, actually, no, Molar works, has spears as well, so this is good enough to get. We also got the sync one, whenever an ally inflicts sync, potency count, blah, good enough. Good enough. Also, is there unique sync? Pretty sure there ain't, right? Maybe I'm just being dumb. Okay, not enough. Well, it's whatever. But yeah, I don't think there is any unique sync from what I remember. Is there? Maybe it's one of the newer identities where it doesn't even, where it isn't even called sync, but it works off of it. Yeah, maybe make mirror dungeons just shorter. Maybe make them only 2 floors or 1 big floor, and then make them a little bit more engaging. I don't know. Honestly, I think the split between normal and hard mode does that pretty well. I just feel like, because mirror dungeons are what you do the most in downtime when it comes to Limbus Company, they should be shorter so that you can finish them in maybe 20 minutes at most, because that's what you need to do with a gacha game. You need to make it a daily habit for people so that they just keep coming back and they're not even thinking about it. But with Limbus Company, you're not really doing that, because your daily grind consists on something that takes, what, like 30 to 40 minutes to complete? That's just way too long. And yes, you can just stop in the middle of a mirror dungeon, but in those 20 minutes that you would ideally play a gacha game every day, you need to get some sort of reward from it, because then it will train the person into just coming back every day. And that's something that Limbus Company is missing. And you got the experience and the luxuriations, but that's not really worthwhile. It's not big enough. Okay, AoE, nice. I've always thought that these ice enemies look surprisingly cool, especially with the pickaxe and everything. Reminds me a little bit of the Blood Fiends of La Mancheland with the blood spikes that they had. Maybe they used similar drawings for the characters. Double up and everything. It's kind of funny. Initially I didn't like Molar Works that much. Not mind you because of the identity itself, but mainly because I wasn't the biggest Ishmael fan before her Kanto. It's not that I disliked her, I just found her mid as hell. And everybody was just absolutely crazy about her when I talked about Limbus Comp. They were like, oh yeah, my favorite sinner is Ishmael. And I would always say, oh, so you like Mitchmael? Now I can't say that because Ishmael is actually a genuinely good character and her Kanto was one of the best. The whole story about revenge and it's becoming an obsession was honestly absolutely great. And it was the first time I really felt like Dante did something managerial. Yeah, that was just good. And afterwards, Ishmael has just been really fun, so can't really call her Mitchmael anymore. Oh my god, you're just gonna hear me yawning the entire time. To be fair, it's fairly late for where I'm at. Oh. Best viewer. Oh, okay. I thought that was actually a person, but it ain't, I'm pretty sure. Ah, well, whatever. So I kinda wish that Twitch would just automatically ignore messages that say something like that. It's more irritating because then I think I actually have to respond for a second, but then I read it and I'm like, oh, okay, it's just that, and then I feel like I've wasted my fucking time. To be fair, I'm streaming anyway, so it doesn't really matter that much. Huh. Forgot to actually go through the cave every time in the mirror dungeon. Huh. Kinda sad that the Gregor identity that has a chainsaw for an arm is really bad. You would think it would be really fucking cool. Let's see, which one shall we take? I don't really want to do automatic factory because it slows things down a lot because of the boss, so we'll take this in. It's not like it's hard, it just slows things down and I'm just way too lazy to... Oh, is it laziness? Oh, actually no. Am I lazy for not wanting to spend too much time in the mirror dungeon? No. I don't really know what you would call that. I think just I have an aversion to mirror dungeons. Yeah, I'm actually trying to farm crates mainly because I need to build another team for the one of the fights in the Kanto. I'm almost done with the Kanto. I think I'm on the... I don't fucking know. 328 or 330, something like that. It's... I'm fighting against the Capo, you know, that swordmaster that has history with Ryushi. And I was actually almost able to finish him. I remember that you needed to get him to around 800 HP to win the encounter. And I had him to something like 851. But I died on that round, so I was really pissed. To be fair, it was my fault. I thought I would be able to get him to the point where I would win, but nope. It was a risk that didn't pay off, and I don't need any bleed identity, but yeah, I fucked that one up, and I was slightly pissed. Not to the point where I was actually angry, but I really just wanted to defeat that one guy in one turn, or not one turn, in one go. Yeah, I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to make it before the Arknights event shows up, and that's one of the reasons why I started playing Limbus Company again, because I'm gonna have to defeat Kento 8 before I'm gonna be able to take part in the Arknight event, and I really do want to take part in the Arknight event. I play Arknights. It's a fun game, so it would be a shame if I can't actually take part in it. Ah, it's so annoying though. I really wish they didn't force you to finish the entire freaking story to be able to play the most recent events. At least I got lucky that they had this time-killing time rerun in between. Because, if I'm not mistaken, Arknight will be in September, which will be next month, maybe. I don't actually keep track of that all that much. Yeah, I don't really know how I'm gonna be able to build another team or another team. I would need to get at least 12 identities up and running, and let's say I pick Sync as my another team, right? Then I do already have 3 / maybe 4 if we count Mariachi Sinclair for that team. But that means I would need at least 8 more, which isn't gonna be easy. To update 8 more identities to update 4, I would need 800 shards in total, 100 for each sinner. And why the hell is there no tremor? Holy shit. You're lucky I actually do like these gifts, but I barely am getting any tremor. I think this one gives something for free. Yeah, sure. We got that one fairly early on, so that's definitely worth it. Okay, wait. The hell? Just heard something in the background that I didn't expect. Just checking something out. I'm having a video run in the background. But they started talking and that was a little bit distracting. It's one of those ASMR videos it's always kind of relaxing. I know that some people don't have that. They find it really annoying, but to me it's kind of relaxing. Whenever I'm drawing or I don't know, doing something that requires my attention and I want something in the background, I'll either have some sort of long form YouTube video, you know, one of those ones that are 4 hours long, or I'll have an ASMR video or something. And while I normally don't really care much what type of ASMR it is, as long as it isn't too, I guess, too much. I don't really know how to explain it. Where I just prefer it to be more low key, you know. Otherwise, it's just too much. I don't honestly know how to explain that. Guess we can just do this one. I don't really care. But it's bit weird to have someone talking in your ears when you are also streaming. So I prefer one where there isn't too much talking, I guess. Because I can just confirm this and keep going while I'm figuring this out. I can just do it in between the fights. Otherwise you're just looking at nothing for a while. Oh, this isn't a bad boss fight.
효율적인 대처로 개체를 꿰뚫었습니다. 참고로 기계는 입에 달린 말 따위 쉽게 하지 않아요. 조절이.
I guess.
그렇게 시원하게 처리하니 보는 맛이 나는군. 일 처리는 빠르게 하는 거지.
I do really like my Virtualist announcer. Oh, no, talking in this one as well. Dang it. Normally I don't mind talking, but like I said, it's just kind of weird when you're streaming and there's talking.
전투 감각 하나만큼은 수감자가 직접 타도하지. 이제 그 도통 알아들을 수 없는 말투만 고치면 딱 좋겠어. 4번 수감자.
Ow.
개체를 구성하고 있는 부위 중 하나가 파괴되었습니다. 이 틈을 파고들어도 좋을 것 같군요.
Second, I might be a fucking idiot, but have I been streaming for 30 minutes and you couldn't hear me? That would have been pretty embarrassing. Hold up, I'm gonna check that real quick because I just realized that my mic was turned off and I feel super silly if that was the case. That would have been so dumb. That would have been absolutely embarrassing.
적에게 치명상을 입혔군요. 관리자님은 당신이 생각하는 것보다 대단한 능력을 갖추고 있다고 제가 늘 말씀드렸죠. 저는 언제나 옳은 말만 한답니다.
I'm just... Okay, so from what I'm seeing, I didn't, so... boy's ego. Wait, so was my mic not plugged in for like 5 seconds and then I noticed it immediately? I guess that's a win for me. That is a win for me then. Alright, well, let's keep going then. I panicked a little bit. It wouldn't have been too big of a deal, but I still have memories of that one time I streamed a specific puzzle game for around 8 hours, but then at the end of the stream I realized that I unfortunately didn't have my mic plugged in and I was literally streaming in silence for 8 fucking hours. You know what, it really doesn't matter. I'll just... I can just pick an ASMR video with a language that I don't speak. That way I don't get distracted. It's kind of a random topic to talk about though.
순수했던 나날로
단순해서 좋군 9번 수감자. 물론 좋은
It's actually something that when I talked with one specific friend about it, he actually got a bit uncomfortable about it because he thought that all ASMR stuff was... How to say it without sounding weird? I guess horny? That's the best way to say it. And while I can't deny that a lot of it is.
참고로 기계는 입에 발린 말 따위 쉽게 하지 않아요.
I feel like with everything on the internet, it will be made horny. It's just something that happens. If something is put on the internet, then eventually someone is also gonna make a horny version of it. Well, not unfortunately. I honestly don't mind it. Oh, that's way too loud. Alright, let's see. I really do not want to fight this guy. His fight isn't too bad, don't get me wrong, but it's also not great. Wait, what? Shit, did I get punished? I didn't care for the burn ego, so... okay, I guess we'll do the normal fight. I would have preferred doing the Apno and then getting the event, but overall the event is more important, I'd say. There's more of a chance that I'll get a Tremor event. At least I think that's how it works. Because I picked the focus on Tremor, they should give me more Tremor focused events. But when it comes to getting gifts from Apnos and so on, I don't think that it actually matters what kind of focus you pick. It will all just be random. At least that's what I've seen so far. Your sultry tones do me well, Virgilus. I do wonder what Virgilus's relationship with Dante was before he got his clock on. It does sound, whenever Virgilus talks to Dante, a little bit like he knows Dante more than he lets on, right? And even there was some dialogue that pointed towards it, so I'm just a little curious about that. I hope it ends up being that they were at least somewhat friendly with each other. I'm not one of those Virgilus Dante shippers or anything, but it would be nice if they were actually friends or something like that. I do know that Virgilus will have his own reasons for actually working with Limbus Company. I imagine it has something to do with getting revenge on the purple tier. Purple tier? I'm pretty sure that she's called a purple tier. That's a colored fixer that was a pretty big deal in Library of Runa. if I remember the story correctly, she was the one that led the blue reverberation towards gathering his cabal, his syndicate, and causing the entire game to happen. Even though she didn't really play too much of a big role inside the game itself. She did have her boss fight and so on, but she was one of the easier boss fights in her area of the game. You know, the basically the final area before you fought against the blue reverberation and his entourage. I guess we can give you water. I don't want to be an asshole. There you go, buddy. There you go. Even though you were a bit of a pain when it came to that specific mirror dungeon, I have forgiven you. Turn start, game 1, ego, resource of a random affinity. That I don't really need too many ego resources in normal mirror dungeons. I don't really care about rupture, even though some of my identities should have rupture, but that's a lot of identities, honestly. Oh, hi there. I didn't see you there because I forgot to look at my stream chats. And yes, I am using Tremor. I don't actually know how good Tremor is right now, but I am also not getting any freaking gifts that are Tremor, which is a little irritating. You would think with me picking Tremor as my main, I guess, focus that I would get more Tremor gifts. That's not really great. I'm getting more Sing gifts than Tremor. Pretty good Tom's ID. Yeah, but I don't have the Tom IDs, unfortunately. And I'm waiting to spend to spend any lunacy for the Arknight event, so I'm not gonna get them, and I do not have enough grades to get them. But I have seen some of the Tremor IDs, and yeah, especially Mersault looks really good. And honestly, I love that Mersault got a really good Tremor ID there. I don't think he had any good Tremor IDs, right? Also, it fuels his new ego pretty well, which is always a good thing. It's always a bit sad when an ego from a sinner doesn't have any ID that properly fuels it. And yeah, you can fix it up with your team, but it's always better when the ID itself can fuel the ego. One of the reasons why I use N-Corp Faust as much as I do, because she almost perfectly fuels that ego. Let's see, what else can I do? I do have enough monies. This is honestly just a universally good gift, so I don't really see the reason not to level this one up. Also, tell me if the sound is too low, by the way. I have the sound pretty low because I'm listening to something in the background, but I do want you to be able to hear it. Even though I'm just doing mirror dungeons, so it shouldn't really be too much of a big deal. Yeah, everything's good. I really hope that Faust's ego that she'll get for the Arknight event will be Kelsif. I feel like it would make the most sense, but Project Moon has... how to say that in English properly? Limbus Company has surprised me with some of its choices for identities. So they might just do that again and make Faustus' ego something that I didn't expect, and you just lost. It's fine though, we're fine. But I just really want a Kelsif ego, and I feel like if anybody is gonna have that Kelsif ego, it's gonna be Faust. I would have preferred if they got identities based off the operators, but that just seems that isn't gonna happen, which I was pretty sad about when I learned, because I think identities would have been way cooler, especially the animations. Could you imagine a identity of Kelsif where you could just see monster attacking? The animations would be absolutely crazy. So cool. I'm honestly not really sure what other operators I would want. If we're gonna go with most popular... Oh, you don't play Arc Knight? It's alright. I'd say it's one of the few gacha games that has a decent story, even though its pacing is garbage. And it has a genuinely fun gameplay. It's a tower defense type game that is honestly really fun. I'd say that Arc Knight has one of the best has some of the best gameplay in gacha games. And it has a decent story as well. Even though it is bloated. I cannot deny that. There we go. How much damage do you do, Don? Okay, you should kill this one. We're dominating that one. And we're doing 80 damage. That's barely not enough. Ishmael, can you do it? Holy shit, 250. Yes, you can. Okay. I'm not complaining there. But yeah, it's a decent gacha game. If you like Limbus Company, then actually, aside from the fact that their worlds are, well, not similar. I'm trying to... I feel like Arc Knight and Limbus Company would have some things in common, but genuinely I'm kind of drawing a blank on that. It's an event content, so probably will be as good as Walpurgis content. Yeah, I think that... So they said that the event will be an interfollow. So I'm gonna assume there will be some sort of story tie-in with this. But I'm not really sure how they're gonna do it. Are they just gonna say, oh yeah, this is also a mirror world? But does that mean that freaking Arc Knight is is in the same multiverse as Limbus Company? Would be kinda crazy. But yeah, if we're talking about actually how things are gonna play out, if it's gonna actually be like an interfollow, that would be pretty cool with an entire story tied to it. I'm not really sure what direction they would go into. I doubt it's gonna be Sinner focused at that point. But yeah, it would be cool to get a bit of a story as well. I would be a little bit sad if they go the Walpurgis route and only have a boss that you have to defeat. Wait, did they have story in the last Walpurgis? I don't actually remember. I think I skipped it. Mainly because I was afraid of Kanto 8 spoilers, and I didn't want to have that happen. Oh, that reminds me, don't spoil Kanto 8. I am almost done. I think I have like 2 more fights left, but I am not done yet. One of the reasons I'm farming these crates is because I need to uptime my identities, a new team. Okay, well that's good to know. You know what, it's actually good that you're here. Can you give me some advice on what status ailment I should focus on for the last couple of fights in Kanto 8? Because I do not have the time or patience to level up more than one team at this point. I already have a charge team, but that one didn't cut it as much. And while I'm pretty sure I could defeat at least the boss that I lost to with my charge team, I honestly don't really feel like risking it. I'm here more for the story than I'm the gameplay, so... I'd rather not have to keep repeating the boss over and over again. If we're talking about the oh, nice. If we're talking about the identities that I have the most off of, then it would go... I would go with either Bleed, Sink, or Tremor. Like, I have a decent amount of identities that I could build a team around with those status ailments. I mean, with any team, I think just make sure to have a strong Honglu. Okay, well, that's true. I don't really think I have any specifically strong Honglu IDs, though. Oh, itchy nose. I do have K-Corp Honglu, but I don't think I have a decent Rupture team.
싱싱한 풀이 보이네.
Yeah, I don't have full stop. I'm completely free to play, and I had a bit of a burnout of Limbus Company after Kanto 7, so I don't really have everything. I have barely anything, actually.
정확하게.
I have heard that full stop is ridiculous, though.
전투 감각 하나만큼은 수감자가 되어도 훌륭하구나. 이제 그 도통
I think I don't remember at the top of my head all the Honglu identities I have, but I have T-Corp Honglu, as you can see here. I have K-Corp Honglu. I have Kurakumo Honglu. I have Hook Office Honglu. What other Honglus do I have? I have a couple more. And wow, I really hope you don't get staggered. Hook Honglu. I actually got Hook Honglu on this Walpurgis.
관리자님의 전술력과 제 지시만 있다면
What else do I have? Fuck, I honestly can't remember. I mean, it's a 7 Sinner Kanto, so if you bring a Honglu from other team to, like, bleed, it should be fine. Suppose I could just use the support Honglu and see what they have. This is actually good OST, man. This is good OST.
그래, 그렇게 시원하게 처리하니 보는 맛이 나는군. 일 처리는 빠르게 하는 편이 덜 답답한.
But yeah, I can't really think of all the Honglus I have, but most of them are 2 stars.
지킬 게 많거든.
제가 괜히
I don't know, man. It's more the fact that I just don't have any patience for the battle system anymore.
부수적인 효과를 기대했었죠.
I can respect what Limbus Company is trying to do, and I can respect a game that just says "fuck you" to their audience, saying like, just get good enough to get past this, but it is just a little bit frustrating for me sometimes, so I don't really have much patience left for this game. Just after Kanto 7, I was like, okay, I really don't like the gameplay of this game anymore. I think it's just unbreakable coins that get me, man. It just feels like at this point it's more about having the right... It feels more like you have to have the right team to be able to defeat bosses instead of it being about how you play. And
일격을 가하는데
that sort of makes sense. Library of Runa was also more about building a team around the boss than it was actually what skills you clashed with the boss. Yes, it was important, but if you had a shit team, then nothing was gonna work. I have played Library. I've streamed Library actually. Library. There we go. I have both played Lobotomy Corporation and Library of Runa. I've streamed both of them. I will say though, Lobotomy Corporation was hella frustrating. This is fine. This is fine. And we'll do this. There we go.
키워보지.
가진 놈들을 털.
I
대의에 거스르지 말고.
disagree. While I do agree that if you read, it makes it substantially easier,
효율적인 대처.
there is a lot...
지었습니다.
참고로 기계는 입에 발린 말 따위
how to say this? There is Wait, are we talking about Library of Runa or are we talking about Limbus Company? Because if we're talking about Limbus Company, then it isn't just all reading. It can... Like, you gotta admit that some of the text is pretty badly written. I don't remember what check I have the best off of. I don't think I have any gloom. But I might not have a sloth either. Whatever, it really doesn't matter that much. But yeah, I personally feel that if we're talking about Limbus Company, it is more about building around the boss than it is just knowing what to clash with. Which makes sense, honestly. But because it's a gacha game, that can be a bit frustrating for me because I am both unwilling to spend the amount of time required to get all the IDs and I'm not spending money on a gacha game. It's my own choice at that point. I will admit it can just be frustrating, especially because I really like the story and I want to keep reading it and experiencing it.
이 렌즈 너머로는 항상 정답이 보인다고요.
Oh, it doesn't matter. Also, there's just too much reading. I'm just gonna say it. I shouldn't have to read half a novel every time a boss pops up just to remotely understand what's going on. Call me lazy if you will, but that's just straight up not good game design, having to read that much. It has been a flaw of a lot of Project Moon games. Also Library of Runa. They expect you to read half a novel to understand the boss's mechanics. And it isn't even like they write it down in the best way they could have. Oh. Oh wait, no, that's Dom. Okay, good. For a second there I thought, shit, this guy has high coins.
벌간이들이 흥겨워하는군. 대체로 저럴 땐 이유가 있는 법입니다. 임자가 쫓아오시죠.
효율적인 대처로 개체를 꿰뚫었습니다. 참고로 기계는 미대 발인 말 따위 쉽게 하지 않아요.
이런 것도 되죠. 편하게
그간의 전투 경험 쓸모가 없지
지킬 게 많거든.
I wonder if they could make mirror dungeons purely automatic, but that might be a step too far for them. They would still want you to play the game. But in, for example, Arknight, they do have a function where if you defeat a mission once, then you can just automatically make the game play it for you again and again, so that farming is cut down a little. And I wonder if you could do that with a mirror dungeon, but I feel like that might be a bit much, because at that point you might not be playing Limbus Company at all anymore. And I could see them feeling like that would make getting all the IDs a little bit too easy. Because as much as I sometimes harp on Limbus Company for not being as free-to-play friendly as a lot of people say they are, it is still true that they 100% give you the ability to just straight up farm for all the IDs and egos, even if it takes a crap ton of time. So it's a lot more dangerous for them to give you too many easy ways to gather resources. If they did the same thing as Arknight, then everybody would just infinitely farm mirror dungeons until they have enough boxes to get everything. Even someone like me who doesn't have the season pass could fairly easily get a crap ton of boxes if I didn't actively have to press the win rate button constantly. Nah, that's not great. Nah, don't really care for that. Jeez, I am not getting lucky with these gifts, man. Meine Gott. I'm just gonna refresh, see if I can get some better ego gifts. There we go, that's better. Even though I don't have enough to get all of them. Good, so let's see. I do have a couple of blondes. I don't think I need that coin too bad, but we definitely do not need this burn. And we also definitely do not need this poise ego. Confirm. I'm guessing we still don't have enough for all of the, maybe barely. Yeah, we have enough for all the tremor egos. Nice. All right.
알고 침식도 양호. 아마도.
단순해서 좋군. 구원수감자. 좋은 성과를 갖고 돌아온다니.
I don't remember how this boss fight works, but the last time I just ignored most of it. Oh, I can't. What was it again? I guess I could just read. Huh, these guys don't have a passive? That's surprising. This unit panics, blah blah blah. Turn ends if bar's broken, blah blah blah. Alright, no biggie. Should I just attack this guy as well? I suppose it really doesn't matter. Ooh, you do have a Wait, hold up. Okay, you have a crap ton of defense up, so it's more than likely not worth it. Alright, let's do this.
정확하게. 가진 놈들을 털.
전투 감각 하나만큼은 수감자가 되어도 훌륭하겠군. 그래, 그렇게 시원하게 처리하니 보는 맛이 나는군. 일처럼 빠르게 하는 편이
Wait, why are we attacking him?
법이지.
적에게 치명상이 입혔군요. 관리자님은 당신이 생각하는 것보다
Well, at least most of them are dead after this, so that's good. Okay, yes, 6s throughout the board, but luckily I got pretty lucky with the speed roll, so we should be fine for the most part. Ooh, that's actually not ideal. That's also not ideal. That's slightly better. And not ideal, but maybe not ideal, and I should probably first actually see which ones you are clashing with. Okay, hold up a second. Okay, so you're clashing with that one, oh, they're all clashing with Otis. Okay. Okay, that's well, could have been worse, honestly. Could have been worse. Yeah, I don't think... I guess inflicting a fragile isn't bad, so let's do that. There we go. And then the rest we can focus on killing these guys. There we go. Oh, that's nice. And then we can just focus on killing you. How much charge do you... Oh wait, you're not a charge. How much sync do you have? None. Okay, then we'll just do this one. And there we go.
직접 타도하죠.
Nice. I've always really liked this Time Ripper's design. It just looks really, really good. With the coat on and with the coat off. It's honestly just a really good design. Time Killing Time is also just one of the best interfollows. I was really glad that they showed Rhodia a little bit more attention. I've always felt it a bit unfortunate that both Gregor and Rhodia got the shitty end of the stick. I don't think that's the right saying, but who cares. I've always felt that Rhodia and Gregor got the shitty end of the stick because they had the first two interfellows and it only started getting decent at the third interfellow. Don't get me wrong, Gregor's interfollow did really well at explaining everything to anybody that wasn't familiar with Project Moon's world and everything, but we still barely got anything from it. But I have hope, because in specifically the Time Killing Time interfollow, Rhodia got some more attention and it showed that her journey is not yet complete. And then in the 6.5 LCB checkup interfollow, they also gave a little bit more spotlight to Gregor, I'd say, where they pointed out, yeah, you're not in that line because you could either be the weakest or the strongest sinner, and so on. And I feel like they they said that for a reason. They wouldn't just say that for shits and giggles. From what I remember from this Rhodia identity, it's actually better to have her in the minus state. But honestly, I just don't care enough, which sounds bad, but oh, this is the unclashable then? Okay. Actually, we ideally want to use ones that will give us sin for using this, but we don't have any. Okay, that's fine. And there we go. As much as I like Queen of Hatred more than I like the Knight, whatever, I keep forgetting her name. I do have to admit that Rhodia's ego is... Or not ego, her identity in this Walpurgis is slightly better designed. I like both of them, don't get me wrong, and I'm really glad that Don got the Queen of Hatred ID. But I do think that those floating swords and everything just look really freaking cool. And even the animations of the sword stabbing into Rhodia when you do her defensive skill is just absolutely amazing. It's just freaking great. Maybe I have a bit of a bias because I do use that Rhodia, this Rhodia ID a lot more. But still. Gotta give props where props are due. I wonder if they're actually gonna have the King of Greed. Was it the Queen of Greed? I always forgot. I think I remember that initially when I saw the Queen of Greed or the King of Greed, I made a comment that shouldn't it be the Queen of Greed because the abnormality was a woman. And that's why I don't remember if it was the King or Queen. Don't really... Do we have a high envy resonance? No, we do not in the slightest. There we go. Also, I'm lucky that these skills are fairly spread out. I'm not sure if that's something that the developers made this enemy do, or if I just got lucky. Because he's fairly quick right now, and I'm would have been fairly fucked if these skills weren't spread out. Come on, Otis. Okay, we at least got a favored here. I feel like this one is gonna be better. And then... There we go with Dominate. Nice, nice. We'll just put it all on the first skill here. Doesn't really matter anyway. And there we go.
직접 타도하죠.
저 로신한테 꿈에 닿을 때까지 몇 번이고!
Oh yeah, I forgot that that one gift actually allows you to use egos twice. I don't remember if you also pay twice the cost. I hope not, because that would make using egos a little bit more dangerous.
개체의 정보와는 상반되는 공격으로 인해 제압 소요 시간이 증가하였습니다. 정보를 통째로 외운다는 행위가 관리자님에게는 다소 어려운 작업인가 보군요. 나만의 항해 방식 데이터를 갱신하죠.
최선을 떼지 말아야 할 겁니다. 가장 먼저 처리해야 할 것이 가장
How should we play this? Guess we can have these two defend. To offset the defensive skills. And the rest we can just have... okay, hold up. Okay, we have a unopposed skill, but that's fine. I kind of wish that win rate, if you've already selected skills, would only win rate the skills that you haven't selected yet. That would be pretty good, but it might be a pain to create. I don't really know coding or anything like that. This is fine. Wait, one-sided? Why is that one-sided? There we go. Oh, because you're slower. Never fucking mind. I'm being an idiot then. Who shall we... It's a pretty decent amount of damage. Suppose this ain't gonna do too much. Offset, offset. Yeah, we're good. We are absolutely good. There we go.
직접 타도하죠. 피어나라.
Are we gonna get that stagger? Yeah, I'm pretty sure we are, or he's already staggered. How fast is he? He's fairly quick. 300 HP. Okay, we should... Yeah, we should definitely just kill him before he gets to attack. Alright, let's do this. That's a cool animation. Oh shit! That's not what I wanted. Oh fuck. He is gonna get those attacks off. That is not great for little old me. That is not great for little old me, but let's hope that I don't get fucked over because of this. And at worst I could hopefully heal all my sinners. This is painful. This is absolutely painful, but also absolutely my fault for not paying attention to the skills. I was just looking at the damage numbers to see if they would do enough damage to kill, but I fucked that one up. I absolutely fucked that one up, and it is on me, and now they're almost staggered, and I am absolutely fucked.
이런 과정들을 통틀어 신뢰라고 부른다고 하더군요. 긍정적인 변화네요.
Oh no, we actually don't want to do that. There we go.
직접 타도하죠.
힘들군. 그러니 알아서.
Alright, here we go. A little bit of a snag at the end there, but it still worked out. Crap baskets. And I don't even have that many gifts. You know, it always surprises me that the LCB one is still there. I would have thought that it would have left after their follow is gone, but nope. Still fine though. I don't really see a point in using this though. Picking this one because the boss fight is a little annoying. You can't just rush it down and everything. Fuck it, we'll just go for the basic app now. That's honestly easier. Let's go like this. Maybe we'll get a good gift.
이 렌즈 너머로는
Gathering skills.
정답이 보인다고요.
I'm not gonna say no to Pierce. My strongest identity right now is using Pierce, so... Actually, two of my strongest identities right now are using Pierce, so still pretty good.
단순해서 좋군. 9번 수감자. 물론 좋은 성과를 갖고 돌아온다면 탈공작자란 걸 존경해주지.
아무것도 남지 마라.
그래, 그렇게 시원하게 처리하니 보는 맛이 나는군. 일 처리는 빠르게 하는 편이 덜 답답한 법이지.
직접 타도하죠. 이런 것도 되죠.
적에게 치명상을 입혔군요.
Maybe Tremertine would be good for the Kanto.
대단한 능력을 가지고 있는
Honestly, this Honglu might actually be my strongest Honglu. At least coin-wise, or skill-wise. I do have a decent Tremor team. I'm not really using it to its full potential right now. And I don't have any major egos to support it, except for the Faust one. But I'm not even using Faust right now because I don't have a decent Tremor Faust.
이 전투가 성공적으로 끝나면 모두의 희생을
그간의
기리며
전투
축배를
경험이
듣는
쓸모가
것도
없지만
나쁘지 않겠죠.
편하게
But I could just read up on my Tremor team a little. It's been a while since I actively used it. I just put it together for mirror dungeons because I felt like it was getting a little bit boring to just use the same team constantly, and decided, fuck it, let's see if I can make a decent Tremor team. And in a mirror dungeon you can actually do that because all your identities will be leveled up to whatever level you're supposed to be in normal mirror dungeons. So you can actually experiment with your team and see what works, which I really like. It gives you a way of actually experimenting with stuff on higher levels without having to invest a ton of experience tickets. I do know there's a ton of egos you actually do need to have to make a Tremor team not work, but make it a lot stronger, and I don't have any of those egos. I remember there being one Hong Lu ego that's really important. It's the frog one, I'm fairly sure, and it gives you a specific form of Tremor that makes it a lot stronger. I don't remember exactly what it does, but I do remember people talking about it. Whee.
단순해서 좋군 9번 수감자. 물론 좋은 성과를 갖고 돌아온 이런 것도 달짝지근한 거 준비해두지.
I wonder if there's a team that's really good at just clearing mirror dungeons really quickly. That would be pretty great, because I have to clear a crap ton of mirror dungeons to be able to get my team together. I don't know how many boxes you get with the season pass, but that can be more than 150 or so. And then even with the other boxes, the brown one, where you get random fragments, which aren't that bad for me right now, because I will need to get charged for each identity regardless. But even with those, it would still not be enough, I think, to get new identities or leveling up all the identities. I should still be able to make at least one decent team, because I only really need 100 charge for most of my sinners. Mainly because, depending on which status ailment I choose to focus on, I should have at least a decent number of sinners that could fit in a team. And I don't need a min-max team or anything like that, because I just do not have the IDs for it. But I like to at least have an a team that functions together decently. I will have to be careful so that the team can feel fluid sec decently, because fluid sec is just really important, so that because it just helps me not die immediately. That was one of the reasons why I died in that one fight against the capo. I just couldn't feel fluid sec enough. I think it was because I didn't get enough of that orange sin. I don't remember what it's called. I know red is Wrath. Right? Yeah, red is Wrath. Not Gluttony. It really doesn't feel like a gluttony. I think purple's... No, is blue Pride? I know that... I know that light blue is Gloom. Red is Wrath. I don't know. You would think with how much I've played this game, I would actually know all this, the colors of all the sins, but I just use the colors themselves, so it's always just been something that I didn't bother learning.
단순해서 좋군. 9번 수감자. 물론
Huh, I straight up did not realize that this boss fight had a different theme. Or OST. Well, actually, I mean more that I didn't realize that this specific boss fight had a OST. I don't know if this is used anywhere else, but I don't remember hearing it all that often. Might be because I'm not usually have my sound on when playing Limbus Company. I usually only have my sound on while playing Limbus Company when I'm playing the story. And even then, only when the story stuff is happening. Nice. That's actually a cool animation. Did we do it? No, okay. That would be a bit too easy.
그렇게 시원하게 처리하니 보는 맛이 나는군. 일 처리는 빠르게 하는 편이 덜 답답한 법이지.
개체가 유리한 조건을 이용하고자 하는 징조가 보입니다만 관리자님의 전술력과 제 지시만 있다면 그다지 위협적이진 않을 것 같군요. 개체를 구성하고 있는 부위 중 하나가 파괴되었습니다. 이 틈을 파고들어도 좋을 것 같군요.
제가 괜히 먹을 것들을 사들고
Alright, this is going pretty well.
네,
I remember this, well, this is actually not a boss fight, so I don't know why I thought it wouldn't go well. I just remember this fight initially being harder than it was. And I don't exactly remember why these M-Corp guys have snakes. Were they distorted or something? No, not distorted. Were they mutated? I haven't really gone back to any of the previous Kantos. So the story is a little bit iffy for me on the first couple.
직원들이 우세한 환경에 있습니다.
Dang, how many of them are there? Okay, these should be the last ones, and I might want to spread this out just a tick. Just a little tick. There we go. That should be enough to kill him. I always thought that this guy looked specifically like some sort of infected pus wound. I don't know why, it just always gave me that impression. Not that I actually know what an infected pus wound looks like.
직원들이 우세한 환경에 있습니다. 관리자님이 제 말을 집중해서 듣고 있었다는 결과겠죠. 정확한 효율적인 대처로 개체를 꿰뚫었습니다. 참고로 기계는 입에 발린 말 따위 쉽게 하지 않아요.
Shop ego gift purchase coster. Okay, that's not bad. I was gonna say, oh well, that's a little late to be useful, but we still have one ego shop to go, one shop to go to, so could have been worse. %30 ain't nothing. I'm just gonna do an immediate refresh here. Refresh. Wow, really? Oh, whatever, at least we got one. When hitting and dealing HP damage to an enemy with a skill, inflict 3 sync potency. If the skill affinity was glutton, not really something I need. Damn, I'm really not getting lucky with these egos. Gifts. Maybe it's because I have a ton of IDs that aren't Tremor or related and that's throwing it off, but I thought that that wouldn't have mattered. However, I'll just upgrade everything. Oh, I can even upgrade this because I do have a couple egos that inflict sync. Actually, 3 out of the 7 inflict sync, so that's not just a couple. Alright. Let's kill the son of a bitch. Yeah, we should be fine. Ideally, I will only have to press the win rate button and nothing else. I wonder why they made it so that the resource that Jisang has to gather with Spice Bush is Tremor. Why they made that Tremor? Did they want to weaken Jisang in some sort of manner because otherwise he would have been too strong? And that's why they made it Tremor, because Tremor does... Inflicting Tremor on yourself isn't great, right? Okay, yeah, we definitely want to kill these guys, though. I don't remember the entire specifics of this boss fight, but I do remember that it can be a pain in the ass if you just let them... Wait, is this unclashable? Or... Otherwise it would be weird for a win rate not to... Yeah, okay, it's unclashable. That makes sense then. Okay then. Let's see, what are we gonna do? I need to... So we'll only do 26 damage. Not 26. It will... Okay, this one will do 27. Oh, that one will kill you, definitely. Okay, then... that should work out. Hopefully I didn't fuck myself over by not just going all out on one of these slimy blobbies. Oh, come on, you can do this, Jisang. You can do... Well, you tried. Okay, there we go. Okay, he's almost staggered, so... I guess if I went all out, I would have just staggered this guy. What? Why? You know what? I'm not gonna question it. Questioning this combat system is just gonna give me a headache. Wait, which one is the shell again? Which one is the shell again? I know. You only have to have one good hit on the shell and we should be golden. And we should be absolutely golden. Interesting. Fuck it, I'm just gonna go all in on damage here and hope for the best. Which might fuck me over really hard if I'm not careful, but sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. No, I don't actually. Alright, there we go. I don't actually know which one was the body, so I'm not sure if we'll be able to stagger this bad boy. But I can at least hope, right? Come on, give me that stagger. Give me that stagger. Well, I might have fucked up there, but whatever. Let's hope that I have someone that can do this. Yay, I did it. That's not ideal. I do not like that.
항상 정답이 보인다고요.
We just gotta go for the damage though. He has little enough HP that we should be fine. There we go. There we go, buddy. Feel yourself going closer to death, even though abnormalities can't really die.
제가 늘 말씀드렸죠.
I'm not really sure if being turned into an egg is similar to reincarnation or if that you keep all your memories.
술자리 모험담은 이거군.
But I doubt it's pleasant. Alright, we did it. Ooh, 220. Do not mind if I do. And we're finally at the 80 mark. Only 40 more levels to go. Which means I still need to do a shit ton of mirror dungeons, but I'll do those slowly. Jeez, it took me 1 hour and 40 minutes to do one mirror dungeon. I thought I was faster than that when it came to mirror dungeons. Well, it's fine. There we go. Almost 82. I'm planning to only get this season pass when I have everything. Mainly because I want to see how much a season pass actually gives me just easily and I don't have to do math for it. It's not like I'm actually in a rush. Yes, I would like to get these resources quickly so that I can level up my sinners and everything, and make a new team, but we still have around a month, at least until this time killing time event is done, so there's no need to rush too much. And there's nothing else. Alrighty then. Well, I didn't expect one mirror dungeon to take as long as it did, but we're almost on the 2-hour mark anyway, so... Oh, hey, is there a new extraction here? A Yisang one. I wish they did more faction-specific extractions. I think those would be better than sinner extractions overall. Just because normally you would want more of the same faction because you can team build better then. Or maybe status extractions where you have a bunch of sync IDs or a bunch of poise IDs or a bunch of bleed IDs. That would be nice too. But yeah, I do think that faction extractions would be cooler. Just even not just about getting more IDs that would be useful for your team building, but just overall I think it would be cooler to have specific faction extractions. Still though, I don't actually know what this Yisang ID does. Okay, so it's a poise and a little bit of bleed, and I don't feel like reading all this, so I'm not. Can I get all of these? No, I cannot. So we're gonna wait. Guess I could get one of these, but yeah. Nah, I don't care. I'll just wait until I have enough of these items to get everything. Alright, well, that's about it for me. Thanks for watching, all that stuff, yada yada, and see you next time.